All right, well, six clubs looks to be a pretty good contract on this one. With the diamond finesse working, I guess you can even make seven clubs. But I think getting to six is what we should expect to see.
You expect Steve to splinter with three spades now?
I think so. I mean, I'm not familiar with their methods, but okay.
This is very, very, very funny that they have this bid. Levin has had this in his head for so long. It's mind-boggling that it just came up. One heart, two clubs, four clubs. Says I have a big club fit. I think it's usually 5-5, but this is 5-4 with a void in the other major. One of a major, two clubs, four clubs. It's this silly agreement that Levin's been just swears by that it finally came up to show it.
Yeah, and reasonably enough, Bobby Levin didn't like the ace of spades opposite a void, so he just signed off. He couldn't really cube it four hearts, because that would be natural, wouldn't it?
I'm a little bit
So
surprised
I don't know for sure.
Steve didn't give it some more thought. I mean, I believe that Bobby and Steve played that the 2-note trump response to a major suit opening is a balanced game force, so that two clubs tends to be a real suit. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a six-card suit, of course, but you know, Steve has a pretty good hand opposite a long club suit, and I think I would have at least thought about it a little bit before passing at the end, and it seemed he passed very quickly.
Well, yes, but do you agree that Levin didn't really have a bid over four clubs other than five clubs?
I mean, I agree that I guess the only bid he could have made really is he might have bid four spades, which sort of seems silly to Q-bid opposite your partner's void. Normally that would be used to say, you know, I don't have anything wasted here, but I do agree with you. It's hard for Bobby to get too excited about his hand, given he had only 10 high card points and that he had the ace of spades facing a void.
Could you ask Fred to increase volume a bit? Thanks. So, yes, we could do with some more voice, Fred, if possible.
Okay, I just tried to make myself louder. Don't know if that worked.
Better, indeed. So, apparently they didn't carry the scores forward, but we know that USA won the first segment by 24 imps.
Okay, and Kit's about to join us, so if everybody can hit the plate next to Kit's name. And it's possible now that Steve and Bobby and Joe are sitting down at the table that Kit, you'll actually be heard. It was very tough to talk there over them since you have a quiet mic and we're all very loud.
On this board, six diamonds is an excellent contract. You can make seven with the king of diamonds well placed, but don't think we're going to see them get that high. Six spades also is a decent spot, not as good as diamonds. Turns out that spades are 4-1, and so you will have to end up taking the diamond finesse to make six spades. So they'll also make six spades if they happen to get there.
So
Bobby Levin he's in a position to know, I think, that you know, diamonds rates to be better than spades from his point of view. It's probably hard to come up with a hand where spades is better.
It's quite possibly they play double key card here for spades and diamonds. I'm not sure.
I notice also Steve's willingness to raise to 3 diamonds, that there are plenty of players in America that would rebid either 2-no trump or 2 spades with Steve's hand.
They actually do this in all 2-over-1 auctions, even after a major 2 clubs. They raise to 3 clubs, just showing a 3-card fit, and it's just that's how they play. Especially over in that previous auction we saw, which was 1 heart past 2 clubs. They play 3 clubs as just either they'll raise with any balanced hand that doesn't want to bid 2-no, and their splinters they do with even a minimum hand.
Well, they did quite well to get to diamonds. And if the King of Diamonds had been offside, they would have been rewarded with the 4-1 spade split.
Notice that Declare didn't take any chances by taking the diamond finesse. It might have been quite unlikely, but taking the diamond finesse, losing to the singleton king, and then getting a spade ruff on the way back would not have made him happy. So he's playing very safely for his contract there.
Steve will certainly overcall, and Justin might just blast to 4 hearts, but it turns out he's taking a slow route.
And 3 spades here. I mean, for the less experienced player, spectators, it's natural, but it also implies a diamond fit by a passed hand. We have to bear in mind that most, or at least many, of our spectators are intermediate players, so they would certainly appreciate if we can explain some of those things also.
Look at
Right,
what
in
a
the
big
first
card
set
the
we had
7 of spades is here. I think the
in the
if the 7 of spades had been a smaller card, he might not be making this contract.
So in the first set, we actually discussed the third seat, one of the major openings with Joe Grew, and obviously his hand is an opening bid no matter who's holding that hand. But the big thing that we discussed was they play that when it goes in competition, the 2-no trump bid shows 4-card support and a limit raise. And this is a really, really useful to know that they have 4-card support. And actually it didn't end up helping on this hand, but it's a really great agreement, because when you're a passed hand, it's the natural 2-no trump bid just doesn't come up nearly as often as this 4-card fit, and so it's a very common way to play that people use the 2-no trump in competition in support of one of a major shows a 4-card fit and then limit raise.
The 7 of spades is going to be an important card here, since Steve will shift to the 8 of spades. It will 9 jack ace. The 7 will drive out the king after trumps are drawn. And now there will be 2 discards for the clubs. Note Declarer has to be careful to retain the deuce of hearts as an entry to dummy.
Actually, I just noticed that even if Declarer had a smaller spade in his hand, he can make the contract by drawing trump, cashing the ace of spades, and then playing ace, king, and another club. Now that's probably sort of double dummy. I don't know if he actually would do that, but South would be end played and forced to concede a rough and discard, and the spade loser would go away.
On board 2, that
Steve continued diamonds here. He must have thought that Bobby had a doubleton.
They play suit preference or trick 1 in a lot of situations. I wouldn't have thought this would be one of them, but Kit, you're their coach. What can you tell us about their agreements about trick 1 signals?
I believe on the king lead they play suit preference. On the ace lead they play attitude. and I'm surprised Steve didn't leave the ace. But seems like something went wrong here. And they were rather lucky that it didn't make any difference.
Now on board 2, the auction in the other room was short but sweet. 1 heart, 3 clubs, invitational with 6 clubs, 6 clubs.
Now East-West are playing Precision Club, so we're seeing a strong club here by Justin Lull sitting west. I believe Joe Gru's response will be 1 heart, an artificial bid showing 8 to 11 points, not that he could really have 11 points having passed, and denying various distributions.
Right, so because they've passed, I'm not sure if this is how they play together, but I've discussed with Joe previously, since all of their game forces are 8 to 11, they play that when they bid a suit directly, like 1 club, 1 spade, or 1 club, 2 clubs, or 1 club, 2 diamonds, that they're actually I think they show a single suitor, and that when they go through 1 heart, then when they bid a suit, they're showing they usually have a 2 suitor.
Right, so that is part of Macwell Light, isn't it? As played by Greco and Hampson.
That's right. I actually played some of it last week at a tournament in China where Joe was one of my teammates. The way we handled it is that the 1 heart response denies a 5-card spade suit. That if you have 8 to 11 points or more than 11 points and 5 spades, you bid 1 spade still. When you're a passed hand, bidding 2 of a minor is a 6-card suit, and bidding 1 no trump, which shows hearts, shows a 2-suited hand, hearts and another suit. Now, I'm sure there's more than one way to do it, but that's the way that I was doing it, playing with Jeff Hampson.
It's cool to see the chat of the players rather than having it be hidden behind a view graph wall, to be able to see them actually talk through this stuff and ask questions and give answers is really nice.
So now declare is on a spade guess.
I'm thinking he's probably just going to play the ace, king of spades and start running
and then
clubs.
Exactly, yes.
So it's 18-0 after 2 boards for the set, and North-South have just reached 6 diamonds in the other room. So the match is very close. It's, I think, 6 imps to USA 1. We have the full score on bridge winners.
Yes. USA won the first segment by 24.
For those of you who aren't familiar with bridge winners, the address is www.bridgewinners.com. It's really a terrific site that Gavin and some other excellent players are working very hard on. One of his partners is Steve Weinstein, and one of the people that writes articles for the site is Kit Woolsey. So if you haven't seen Bridge Winners, I urge you to go check it out. If you have seen it, I urge you to go by frequently because really there's a lot of fresh content and it's very, very good stuff.
I just posted the link in the room.
Okay, and you see Steve has a normal one-no trump overcall. He has 4 spades, which makes getting to spades attractive, except for his hand is a very no trumpy hand. The ace king for the hearts plays very well for a suit contract. There are stoppers that don't need to be placed in anywhere, but the 2 minor suit queens look like it's going to be very difficult to get to an aggressive game.
So can they escape into 2 spades here?
I'm not sure what Levin's 2 club bid is. I think it shows clubs in another suit.
Playing precision, at least the style that these guys do, the double of one-no trump tends to have very sound values because they open the bidding on just about every 11-point hand and some 10-point hands. Now, vulnerable against not, even Joe Grew will show a little bit of discretion, but still, Joe can expect that Justin has, substantial high card values for his double. It looks like 2 clubs showed clubs and another suit, and that Steve is redoubling to ask Bobby to bid his other suit, which he's done. So they have found their best fit.
A lot of people would play that Steve bids 2 diamonds, pass a correct, but I think playing redouble...
Meanwhile, it looks like Joe Grew's double of 2 clubs was for takeout. And so that's why Justin is bidding his diamonds now, because he expects Joe to have at least some length in diamonds. Sure, Bobby Levin's just breathed a sigh of relief of not having to play in 2 spades doubled.
I'm told that your site, Gavin, has crashed. Too much traffic at the moment.
It's slow. I don't know if it's crashed, but it's slow.
But
well,
yeah.
You could have worse problems. We've suffered before from too much traffic, and it's always a sign of good things to come in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, good sign.
We've had, on a number of occasions, we've had a lot of traffic. When we post the live scores for the Spingold and Vanderbilt, we get just nailed every time Viewgraph commentators post a link to the live scores. Thousands of people from Viewgraph run at the exact same second, and the server really doesn't like it.
I posted the link to the convention card for Grew and Lowell. We also have the one for Levin and Weinstein. I'll try to find that. One moment.
Notice here that due to the one-no trump overcall, Declare knows that Steve has...
I guess if Declare does everything right, he can just about make 5 diamonds here. I don't think it's necessarily realistic to hope that East-West for USA 1 will get that high. Is kind of a lucky make.
Here it is. The North-South convention card.
Levin, Weinstein, north-south at this table, are been probably the most successful pair in the world during the past year or so. Besides qualifying to represent the U.S. in the Bermuda Bowl, they also won the World Open Pairs, which is an awfully hard event to win. They're also well known to have an extraordinary record in the Cavendish Invitational Pairs, which is also a very, very difficult event. Bobby Levin won the Bermuda Bowl way back in, I believe, 1981 when he was in his early 20s. That was before, I believe, some of these guys were born on the other team.
Brad, you've played in quite a few Bermuda Bowls yourself. I know that when the first one you played for the U.S., I think you won a bronze, if I'm not mistaken, and I know that as a young Canadian kid, I was just taking up bridge when you guys got your silver medal. I think it was in Beijing. And can you talk about what it's like to play in the Bermuda Bowl?
Sure. Well, it changed quite a bit between the first time I played in 1995 and subsequent appearances. I guess the main difference was the first time I played, I was not a very experienced player at all, and I went into the event not really thinking that I was, good enough to compete with the best players in the world. I didn't really know one way or the other because I had never really tried it before. So, in a sense, I was not really in my element. I think everyone on the team was somewhat surprised that Canada did as well as we did, winning the silver medal, but all of my other teammates were, among Canada's best and most experienced players, so they at least, knew what they were getting into, and they knew that, if they did play their best, they might have a chance to do well. Anyways, the fact that we did do well was a big confidence booster for me, and shortly after that, I started to play more in international tournaments. I started to go to the ACBL Nationals regularly and became more and more confident as I, enjoyed success in other major events. So, by the time I went back to the Bermuda Bowl and played for the U.S., which I believe was about 6 years ago now, in Portugal, I went into the event thinking, we really have a chance to win this thing. So that was a big difference for me.
Yeah, we have to notice the race was... Go on.
You go ahead.
I just wanted to...
That could be interesting with the spades 4-1 and the clubs offside.
Just wanted to point to the race with only 3 cards. Some never do that. Some countries in Europe, for instance, it's taboo. France and Poland, for example. But I think this is a very good hand for it. I mean, you have an outside singleton, so I think that 2 spades is very good and better than 2 clubs. But you can't fault anyone forbidding 2 clubs.
People keep telling me that I'm too quiet. I've tried to raise the volume on my microphone a bit. Is that helpful?
Oh, it helped a lot.
Better.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good. Sorry about that.
So just to talk about what Roland was talking about, Steve Weinstein actually wrote an amazing article on Bridge Winners about when to raise on 3-card support. I'm going to post a link for you to check it out.
Meanwhile, how's the clear supposed to
doesn't deal-
play this hand? Off the top, all he has is 4 spades, 2 hearts, 5 spades with the rough and dummy, 2 hearts is 6, and the club and the diamond, so he's going to have to take the club finesse, but he's in danger of getting tapped out.
I wonder where Kit's microphone is. Is it in the other room, Kit? I mean, you're very, very feeble.
Okay, I'll try to make it louder. Can you hear me better now?
I actually have a bit of a disagreement with my regular partner, Brad Moss, with this raising on 3-card support thing. I'm a fan of doing it when you have a balanced hand with a small doubleton and, 3 fairly strong trumps, and Brad would just assume that I never do that. So I haven't stopped yet, and it seems like I keep getting good results from it. And it's not like he's really angry at me or anything when we get good results, but it is a difference of opinion.
Isn't it funny how in a situation like that where it's mostly a style thing, actually 2 partners can do it opposite. Like you don't even have to match each other's opinion. One person can overcall aggressively, one person can overcall passively. As long as you know how your partner's playing, it really doesn't make a difference in the long run.
Well, I'm asked if it isn't dangerous to race with 3. When suppose partner only has 4 and he bids 4 spades, then you're playing on a 4-3 fit. Well, yes, that's true, but most expert pairs have a gadget over the race to 2 spades, so they can ask responder whether he has, or opener rather, whether he has 3 or 4 card support.
And it does happen to be the case that sometimes a game in a 4-3 fit will be your best contract. Not suggesting you go out of your way to look for such things, but sometimes it happens.
So the race to 2 hearts is constructive for the East-West pair, showing 8-11.
Interesting choice by Steve. I think there was a hand that came up in the first set where the commentators discussed the idea of playing intermediate jump over calls after a single raise by the opponents, which has a lot to be said for it, but it's sort of rare to make such an overcall on a 5-card suit. Now, Steve's 5-card suit is rather special, and knowing that his partner is short in hearts increases the chances that his partner will have a spade fit. But, still a creative effort by him, I would say.
Notice Joe Grew's play of the King of Diamonds. He was hoping to hold the trick and be able to lead a spade through, and was afraid his partner might not be able to lead a spade.
What did you do, Kit? You're loud and clear now.
Not sure if anyone noticed, but it looked like Joe Grew made a interesting play a few tricks back when a diamond was led from the dummy towards the close hand. He went up with his King of Diamonds. I guess he was thinking that he wanted to try to win the trick and play another trump, which I'm sure there exist layouts where that would have been the right thing to do. Don't think it really mattered what diamond he played on the actual hand.
Remember, he didn't think his partner had another trump left because he thought Steve had 6 for the 3 spade call.
So 3 spades looks to be going 1 down. I don't think it's that big a deal because looks like east-west. Probably make 3 hearts.
Don't they make 4? Maybe. Well, at least 3 hearts, at least. Yeah.
All right, and we're going to get to see another example of precision in action here.
Yeah, and Law is too weak to show his hearts, I suppose, so he's got to respond 1 diamond.
Yeah, he'll bid 1 diamond, and Joe will rebid 1 spade, which the way they play could be a 4-card suit. It's a forcing bid, and now Justin will have to choose between bidding 1 no trump, which shows 0 to 5 points, bidding 2 hearts, which shows a 6-card heart suit, and I'm not sure of the exact range, if it's 6 or 7 or if it's 5 to 7.
Well, 5 to 7 or 6 to 7, I think 2 hearts is a descriptive bid with his hand.
Right, this does show a 6-card suit the way they play. And note that opening lead. Bobby Levin has underled the ace. Something that there are textbooks out there that tell intermediate players you should not be doing. I think the word never should probably be stricken from the bridge literature. There are certainly times where underleading an ace is a strong play, and in this particular case, where there's a very large number of high card points coming down in the dummy, there's a lot to be said for underlead of the ace.
I think that's one of the hardest things with learning bridge is everybody always wants rules that they can follow because people are good at following rules. And what ends up happening is, as Fred said, nothing is consistent in bridge. There's always going to be an exception, and most often, if you just don't have those rules that say never do this or always do this, you'll be able to think through what the right thing is.
Here, it's just a matter of over tricks. I mean, perhaps there was some way for the defense to come to some kind of a trump promotion and to hold declare to his contract, but as it is, the contract is going to make with an over trick.
Well, I'm asked if it's possible to get to 2 hearts playing natural methods, and I think it is. 1 spade, and I don't think anyone would pass 1 spade with the West cards, so he'll respond 1 no trump. East would rebid 2 diamonds, and now you can get out in 2 hearts if you want to.
Although in that sequence, I think it would be hard for East to pass with 17 high card points. He might well take another bid. Game is certainly still in the picture.
Exactly. The range of the 2-heart bid in the auction that Roland described, 1 spade, 1 no, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, is still anything up to an invitational hand. So West could have anything up to 10 points, and 10 ups at 17 is obviously enough for game. Even 8 ups at 17 is enough for game. So I imagine that East would make a 2 no trump.
In any case, it's a good hand for precision at using take very good judgment to do so.
Yeah, but it's also a good hand for the Gatsuri convention, where East would rebid 2 clubs rather.
Right. So they play that normally a 1 no trump opening is 14 to 16 points, but in 3rd seat vulnerable, 1 no trump is bumped up to 15 to 17 points. So the 1 club followed by 1 no trump is a stronger hand, 18, 19 points. and Stayman sequence will lead to 4 spades.
And there we have the one heart response again. It doesn't say anything about hearts. It just shows 8 to 11 high card points.
Now, there's a common theme in what they do and how Meckwell designed this strong club, and that's you want to keep the auction lower with the most frequent hands. And over one club, when you have 0 to 7, it's a quick.
Here it looks like Declare is just going to lose a diamond trick and a trump trick, that the club slow club loser will go away on the 4th round of hearts, and the club finesse will be taken successfully. Apparently, Gavin was having some technical difficulties. He'll be coming back in a second. You'll have to click the play button again beside his name to re-enable his voice.
Can I ask you, Fred, did you manage to fix that bug we were talking about last night? I don't think so, because it was still there this afternoon.
I think this should be, well, the earlier session today of this match was the first time it was hopefully fixed.
So let me try to say something when I think I'm off. I'll do that right now.
Okay, I don't hear you, Roland, so I think we've fixed it.
Good. Thank you very much.
Notice Joe Grew's rather aggressive 3-spade call on a double spade. Would this be a popular choice, do you think?
Well, East-West did a lot of bidding here to get to 4 spades. I guess with the cards lying the way they're going to have at least 10 tricks. Even if the defense shifts to trumps now, there's, I think you might actually make an over trick. But anyways, that's going to be a very good result for USA too. Joe Grew did quite well to raise to 3 spades over the negative double. He was confident that his partner would have a 6-card suit to bid over 1-note trump there, and was a little bit fortunate that the hands meshed so well in the club suit.
But did the overcall promise a side suit and a minor? Do you know?
I'm not certain. I believe they play that 2 spades is a 1-suited hand, that he would have bid something else if he had spades in another suit.
now he'll probably just ruff a heart back, ruff a diamond, queen of clubs, club to the 10 maybe, or is that not completely safe?
So now Declare has to decide whether he wants to stake everything on the club finesse, or if he wants to get involved in roughing a heart, roughing a diamond, and then playing to lose a club trick if necessary. Of course, South, having opened 1-no trump, is favorite told the king of clubs, but certainly not written in stone.
I think the key issue is, since Levin didn't lead a club to begin with, Levin probably doesn't have a singleton club, so Declare can be fairly confident that the second round of clubs will live.
Okay, so it does look like he's going to rough a diamond and give himself a chance to make the contract, even if the king of clubs is in North's hand. I guess the only risk here really is if spades are 4-1.
4-1 trump split, which is why I think he'll play queen of clubs and club to the 10, since the clubs don't figure to be 4-1.
He still might be okay then.
I just looked it up. Yeah, two spades didn't show anything about a side suit.
Justin, well, here his hand, though it's only a 10 count and not a lot of tricks. He has the type of hand where he never knows whether he's going to make game. As you saw, he just bought good club points and a spade honor, and he makes game. He didn't need an opening bid from partner to make game. He just needed appropriate strength. If partner had the king jack of clubs and the king of spades, he wouldn't even need partner singleton diamond. And it's completely random whether he's going to make game or not. And I definitely think he made a smart 4-spade bid.
I mean, this hand is a great example of why
he's obviously
USA
expecting 3-card support.
This hand really illustrates why USA 2 is such a dangerous team, that you can play against a lot of very good players who are not going to get to 4 spades on hands like these. And this particular pair, they have excellent judgment, excellent table presence, and they're not foolishly aggressive. They're just good aggressive, and that makes it very hard for them to play against. Sorry, I was told that didn't come through very well. I'll try to say it again. That someone who's had some experience losing to the Zagoran team USA 2, I can tell you that they're extremely hard to play against. And the last hand we just saw is an excellent example of why that they're extremely aggressive, but not in a foolish way. That they judge well, and they play their cards well, and they're completely fearless. So they're smart aggressive, not foolish aggressive, and that makes them hard to play against.
Levin will have a tough decision here. He's got great spade support, but he has this apparently wasted king doubleton of diamonds, and the queen jack third of hearts in the Gru's suit. So should he compete to 5 spades or double 5 diamonds here?
Speaking of aggressive, check out Justin Lull's 3-diamond opening bid here. I know that we have one commentator, Mr. Woolsey, who certainly would approve. I'm not sure that everyone out there would think that this is a normal thing to do, but nowadays white against red, you know, a lot of people think this is sort of license to kill, so they tend to bid very aggressively at those colors, and especially in first or third position. It should also be noted that East-West do not have a weak two-diamond bid available. They use the two-diamond opening as a precision style opening bid, showing short diamonds and three suited hands.
I do approve, but only because I don't think the hand has quite enough playing strength for a four-diamond opening.
Ah, lovely. Would you also approve in second seat? I mean, a favourable.
Well, you know, I mean, I have to admit that maybe I'm a bit of a throwback, but I'm not one of those people that, you know, tends to preempt on such hands in either first or second seat. If I haven't heard Kit say anything for a while, I'm not sure if he's still with us or not. I think he'd probably be a better person to ask. He's sort of, you know, well known for his style in this area. But, you know, for me, you know, I wouldn't be opening any number of diamonds. Well, I wouldn't be opening three diamonds anyways in first or second seat.
Can you hear me now, Fred?
I'm not saying that I'm convinced my style is winning bridge. It quite possibly might not be, but it's just the way I play, and I'm comfortable that way. And my partners tend to expect me to have, you know, somewhat of a better suit when I open at the three level, even at favorable vulnerability.
Fred, can you hear me speak now?
Well, apparently not, Kit. We can hear you, but you're still very feeble. You were very good for 10 seconds about 20 minutes ago. I don't know what you did then, but it was very good.
Unfortunately, I can't hear Kit at all, so I'm sorry if I'm stepping on his comments.
Yeah, you're actually talking over him. But it's not your fault. You can't hear him.
Maybe I'll try refreshing my browser and coming back. Hang on.
He's not saying anything at the moment, but you can hear me loud and clear, can't you, Fred?
Yeah, Roland, your voice has been
I can
clear
hear
the
you
whole
fine,
time.
Roland.
I can
Actually,
hear
now I can
everybody
hear
too.
Kit too.
Kid, that did wonders. Can you keep
Can
it
you
there?
hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about now?
Sounds good.
Very good. As Kit said before, Levin had a very difficult decision to make over 5 diamonds, and I think most of us would bid 5 spades, just in case. It's difficult to pass with 5 card support when partner bids 4 spades.
Still, bidding 5 over 5 with a flat hand and all your strength in the opponent's suit, that seems questionable.
Yes, but if those values are wasted, Kid, and I understand that, the King of Diamonds and Queen Jack of Hearts, but then they will often make 5 diamonds, won't they? And you're not going to be doubled in 5 spades. I mean, if you have 11 or 12 trumps between you.
Yes, I agree. The scoring table does argue in favor of bidding. No question about that.
So Joe Grew makes the decision to bid two diamonds, Michaels. Kid, I can't hear you. It looks like you're talking, but
I think Steve and Bobby play a good bad two-note trump here, so a three diamond call would be a stronger hand than this, and that I think he's supposed to bid two-note trump, but I'm not sure of that.
And do we expect that Justin is going to force the game?
Absolutely. Justin's got the ace king. I think that he's just biding his time. I think that the reason he passed two-note trump here is just because he's got security, knowing that he's more than happy to defend a no trump contract, and otherwise maybe he's going to get doubled.
Fred, would you care to explain the two-note trump good-bad convention for not-so-experienced players in the audience, please?
I'm not really an authority on
Basically,
this.
the idea is to try to distinguish between a hand you just want to compete on and a hand you want to invite on. And there's a hand you might have bid three diamonds if the East had passed. And two-note trump is used to show a weak competitive hand somewhere, whereas an immediate three-level bid shows a truly good hand.
I am surprised by Justin's bidding here. Would be interesting to know what he was thinking. It's not too hard, you would think, from his point of view to, picture some of the hands that Joe would bid two diamonds on vulnerable and see that he'll often have at least a play for game.
Meanwhile, Justin had an interesting decision as to whether to sell out to three diamonds or to compete with the good support for both of his partner's suits.
It seems to me there might have been some misunderstanding, because it doesn't make sense to me that he would not take a call with 3-3 in the majors and this many values.
But did Steve forget to alert the two-note trump?
No, he alerted it. It was there.
Okay.
Or at least the three club bid was alerted. Maybe he didn't alert two-note trump, but I think everybody knew what it was.
Yeah, he did write to the table that he forgot to alert the two-note trumps.
We can see that Bobby Levin does not like the idea of defending at the two level when short in the opponent's suit. I totally agree. Okay, now this is a suit preference situation for Bobby and Steve. Steve will play a low heart if he wants a club shift, and a high heart if he wants a diamond shift.
And I guess knowing that his partner is long in diamonds, he'll probably want a club shift.
Here he knows a diamond shift is no good, since Justin is clearly short in diamonds, so I think he'll play the 2 of hearts looking for a club shift.
And the defense will eventually get a heart ruff, because when Steve wins his ace of spades, he'll be able to play a heart back. And 3 spades should make exactly.
For new spectators in the audience, USA 1 are leading by 13 imps, actually, as they won the first segment by 24.
Both of these teams will be playing next month in the Bermuda Bowl World Championships in the Netherlands. I believe there's something like 22 teams that have qualified for that event, and I imagine that most of the bridge fans out there will know that both of these teams will be among the contenders.
Right, they're going to play 21 matches of 16 boards in the qualifying, and then the top 8 will advance to the quarterfinals.
Was it always 16 boards? I seem to the only time I got to play, I remember them being much longer matches in the round robin, maybe 20 or even 24.
Yeah,
is it?
Well, it used to be, but that was before they had so many teams taking part.
I didn't actually realize that the number of teams competing was flexible. I always thought that each zone got a specific number of teams and that there were always 22 teams.
No,
I think it's been slowly growing over the years.
Exactly.
In the first Bermuda Bowls, there were only 3 or 4 teams, I believe.
Right, I meant in like recent history. I'm not talking about 50 years ago. I don't know anything about, mostly before I played bridge.
But certainly in 1995, Red, you didn't have 22 teams there, did you?
No, I mean, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was somewhere around 16. Looks like a swing just came in for USA 2 on board 10. We saw East-West here playing what looked like a relatively normal 4-spade contract on a 4-4 fed. The players at the other table sitting East-West played in 3-no trump, which was not a success. It looks like Marty Fleischer, sitting east at the other table, did not choose to check back for a 4-4 spade fed. He did have 4 little spades and sort of a no-trump looking hand, so his decision certainly could have been right. On this hand, it was not right.
bridge has gotten to such a high level now that it's really small decisions like that swing so many imps. And when somebody asked me not that long ago about what I think separates the best in the world from the next best, is I don't think that there's that incredible bridge players are particularly good bidders, or some teams dominate in defense or declare play. I think at the end of the day there's a lot of slightly random swings that end up deciding a lot of the matches at high levels. And that being said, there's also a lot of mistakes, and usually the team that's going to make fewer mistakes is gonna win. But it's amazing how many imps you can look at in a match and say, well, I don't think either team did something wrong, but one team won the game swing.
Gavin, I think you are wise beyond your years. That was a brilliant thing you just said.
Now, partner, having both majors was just what Levin wanted to hear. So he inquired with 2-note trump and learned that partner is 4-5-2-2, and I assume that he's able to set clubs now.
Right. They play in this auction. They play 4 clubs would transfer to 4 diamonds to show a slam try somewhere. 4 diamonds would transfer to 4 hearts to sign off somewhere, and 4 hearts, 4 spades, and 4-note trump and higher are key cards in all of the various suits. So 4 hearts is key card in clubs.
Right. They play, I think, up the line as far as the key cards go. In other words, 4 hearts always clubs, 4 spades always diamonds, and what have you.
Well, right, so we've got one key.
Joe Crew's opening lead here is going to be rather crucial.
Well, absolutely. Well, he got one key card, and he doesn't know if it's the ace of hearts or the ace of spades.
Well, I think he was always bidding a slam regardless, so figured he might as well mislead the opponents as to what type of hand he has.
Well, he led one of the 4 cards in his hand that will defeat the slam. Bobby has ace of hearts to get rid of his spade, but he has no quick way to get to the dummy. Now, he may lead a diamond toward the dummy, and it may not be obvious for Joe to go up with the king and switch to a spade, so this one's not over yet. But from a double dummy point of view, at least Joe Grew has winning the battle.
I think if Bobby had led the diamond up to dummy right then, it would have been more successful, because Joe would have ducked so his partner could get in to lead another trump.
USA 2 did just take the lead in the match. It was they were down by 24 going into the set, and they picked up 29 imps through 11 boards.
Now, it turns out Bobby actually has a real technical chance to make his contract, whereas the line we were discussing, the low diamond towards the dummy, is really playing for the defense to make a mistake. So here, for example, if he chooses to play low and Justin wins the ace of spades, then the defense either has to lead diamonds for him or put him in the dummy to take the diamond finesse himself. So it's hard to be too critical of him, taking a legitimate play for his contract.
I'm actually surprised that he didn't cash some more clubs. I mean, I guess the opponents could just pitch hearts, but it seems like playing a bunch of clubs might put him in a much better spot.
Those of you who are not fairly experienced players from North America may find the 2-diamond opening bid completely baffling. That's part of something called the Flannery Convention. It's used to show a hand with 4 spades and 5 hearts and minimum opening bid strength, roughly 11 to 15 points. Now, there are some players who are famously giant fans of Flannery, and Levin and Weinstein are among them. There are some who think it's one of the worst conventions ever created, and my friend Roland has been an outspoken critic of the convention before. So whether you think it's a good convention or a bad convention, it is certainly a convention that people tend to be passionate about one way or the other.
I'm actually going to present you with a link. Steve Weinstein wrote an article on our site about why he loves Flannery, and not only the article, but then the discussion that came from it. He and Bobby revealed a lot of the benefits of playing the system, so I'm going to post it in the chat right now.
But I agree with you, Fred, in the sense that either you love it or you hate it. There's nothing in between.
I think Steve would argue either you love it or you don't understand it.
Here's a difference in styles. I think it's safe to say that the East-West pair would have opened the bidding with Bobby Levin's hand. But Levin and Weinstein are, among today's pairs, one of the sounder, examples of bidding style, that they tend to be guys that have their bids.
Well, certainly if he had opened, they would have gotten the game. Now, who knows what will happen? It'll probably go like a diamond. And I think, I don't know what Levin will do.
Well,
I believe they placed his spades.
Yeah, he's chosen to use the reverse Flannery convention, which I'm a little surprised he would do that with, 4-card support for the suit that his partner's open. Might make it hard for them to get to a good 5 diamonds.
Yeah, he had a difficult problem. Still, majors is usually where games are at.
But wouldn't a one-spade response keep all options open?
No, they cannot respond one spade. That would deny a 4-card heart suit, basically.
All right. There you go. Terrible convention.
So the way the Tuno Trump bid works here, I happen to know because I think they've basically stolen the version that I play with Brad Moss. Tuno Trump says I either want to sign off in one of the minors or I'm going to make a slam try in one of the majors. And the north hand bids as if facing 5-5 in the minors. Now here, the 4-diamond bid is unusual because normally you bid either 3 clubs or 3 diamonds. Presumably 4 diamonds says I have a special hand, which can only be 4-card diamond support. So looks like, well, they're certainly going to find diamonds. It's just, are they going to find 5 diamonds or not? And I'm guessing that Steve will probably bid 5 diamonds now.
Oh, I think in Steve's mind the question is, might they not have a slam? He's not worried about game here. He has a huge hand opposite what he thinks his partner has.
But can there be a slam on opposite a partner who didn't open?
Well, they give partner the ace of spades, maybe. I mean, even opposite the actual hand slam is on the order of 50%.
Yeah, but I mean, with the ace of spades instead of the king, he would certainly have opened 11 and 5 controls.
Well,
5-4 in the majors.
He has passed 4 diamonds, so not clear what he was thinking. Maybe, he didn't read that Levin rated to have a club void and 4 diamonds.
I am stunned that he passed 4 diamonds. That's about all I can say. I think that is just a gross misevaluation of his hand.
Well, maybe he didn't appreciate that, or know for sure that his partner had 4-card diamond support.
How can he not have 4-card diamond support?
Well, I would tend to agree with you, but Steve's an awfully smart guy. Maybe he's thought of a reason. It's not your everyday auction. Anyways, this is the last board. I think the table is going to close as soon as they finish play, so let me thank all the players, and special thanks to Gavin for doing a lot of hard work setting this up, to Kit and Roland and all of our other commentators. There's going to be a third set of 16 boards that will start soon, so please join us, and we hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you.
Okay. And for now, after this board finishes, we're going to shift. At least I'm going to shift over to the other room and do a little bit of voice in that room for the last few boards.
I am told that it's possible we'll start doing voice commentary at the other table, which is a couple of boards behind us. Can't make any promises, but looks like we might try to arrange that.
Also, the next set should resume almost immediately after this set. There will be almost no break.